Business Spotlight, brought to you by Cross Rhythms and Baba Baboon.
I'm Sonia Farrell and this is Business Spotlight in partnership with Cross Rhythms City Radio and Baba Baboon. This week in the studio, we're talking about empowerment. We're talking about the young people of Stoke-on-Trent as we welcome Positive People Empowerment into the studio. We've got Paul Smith, who is the director, and Jonathan Smith, who is the project manager. Hello.
Hello there, Sonia. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Amazing.
Very well.
Thank you. Yeah, good, thanks.
Amazing, I like that word. Good. Well, thank you so much for coming into the studio here at Cross Rhythms. Now, Positive People Empowerment. I believe you do a lot with young people within Stoke-on-Trent and surrounding areas, within our communities and empowering communities. But Jonathan, what does Positive People Empowerment really mean?
Positive People Empowerment really means, basically, as it says, we are an organisation that looks to empower young people, local entrepreneurs. Our main target audience is 16 plus in the Stoke-on-Trent region, just trying to help them along the stepping stones to a fulfilling career. We started back in 2020 under the COVID pandemic, where we initially started with the actual acronym PPE, Personal Protective Equipment, and we were helping frontline staff, elderly, the homeless shelters around the region with PPE equipment, and we developed into long life food items as well, food delivery, food parcels to help the underprivileged in the area. This was during the COVID pandemic, but since that ended, we rebranded into a Positive People Empowerment charity, which we help anybody who has inspiration, aspirations to go further in life, helping them provide the stepping stones to long life sustainability, really. So in terms of job satisfaction, learning new skills, developing skills, to try and help them provide for themselves and their families in the future.
So it's all about, from what you're saying, unlocking potential as well, and sort of providing, like you say, that path for the start of a journey for a young person. Yeah. I mean, how do you do that? How do you bring in different skills and different experiences?
Well, we work with local organisations, and we've come from quite a broad background ourselves. We've worked in media, we've worked in music, creativity. I've worked in recruitment for a long time. So you see the gaps in skills locally for young people and the opportunities which at times might seem quite sparse for them or less accessible than they probably realise. So working in recruitment for many years, we've been able to kind of understand where the skills gaps are, and we support them by, from as basic as, uplifting their CV or giving them insights into different types of careers to help them in terms of, short-term, medium-term and long-term careers. But beyond that as well, we've the empowerment piece really comes from the fact that we understand that, you can teach someone to fish. And that's the kind of, the mantra that we use in terms of helping people to be able to be independent and help themselves. So that's where the entrepreneurship side comes in, which is a massive passion of mine as an entrepreneur. I realise that it's not always easy for young people, especially coming from disadvantaged backgrounds, broken homes. A lot of unemployment in families at the moment locally, which is, it's going to continue, unfortunately, for a while. So we kind of help them to realise that, while that perfect job is out there, if they feel it's inaccessible for them, then they can actually maybe turn their passion or their hobbies into a career. And that's why we support in terms of helping them with that longer journey in terms of entrepreneurship.
And what is then, from your perspective, what is an entrepreneur, and what would you say, what does it take to be an entrepreneur?
I'd say it just takes bravery. It takes a good idea, it takes something unique, but people buy from people. So a lot of times people are kind of stuck in terms of how they present themselves or if their idea is good. Sometimes just taking that first step is always the hardest. An entrepreneur is, for me, somebody that's, forward thinking, creative, driven, quite inspired to do something, for a good cause or something which has some good commercial value. somebody that's offering opportunities for like-minded people to work, and it's somebody that's that's ready to take that first step, which is always a daunting step. Doesn't matter how old you are, young or old. Going on your own in business is never an easy thing, but I think what helps is that network that you build around you in terms of people that can support you, and mentors like us. That's what we want to be. We want to be mentors, but we're also friends to the service users that we support, to kind of help them to take those first steps and to help stabilize them in terms of the decision making, and give them the knowledge that we've learned over the years. I mean, I'm a late bloomer myself. If I had the opportunities like what we give to young people now at that age, then I'll probably be a lot different, in a lot different place in terms of my career. So it's all about that early intervention, and to let people know that whatever your idea, big or small, you can make it work. And that's the first step is always the hardest. So that's where we come in to support them, from fund writing to supporting them with their business plan, marketing, and even kind of introducing them to our network and stuff of that nature. I
mean, something you mentioned there, business plan. That again, when you're starting out in business and you're like, a business plan, but what again, what's involved in a business plan, and how do you know if you've never done it before? Yeah,
well, it's all about that it starts with that general idea of what your idea or concept or product or service is, and then how you are, what your competition do, but how you differ from your competition. It's a plan that it's always a work in progress. So there's never a perfect plan, because in a business you change that plan as you continue in business. So it's more or less the first steps in terms of what we do, why are we different, what do we charge, and who can benefit. Once you've got that understanding of those ideas, then the business plan in terms of how you market that, how you present that, where your customers are, kind of fall into place a lot of the time. And it's something that you can reference to down your journey. So in school they do kind of business skills, but up until you get to kind of college age, you don't really touch much on business and commerce. At that point is normally too late, because you're already kind of in a channel in terms of a career that's something maybe that you're just pushed into, or you just think that's the best option for you. Whereas we want to kind of help them from kind of school age to think about, what would you do if you had the opportunity to work for yourself? Because that independence is something that once you taste it, it's very, very difficult to not have that. But it also helps you in life to be quite resilient as well. So
from what I'm getting again from that is providing sort of young people as well with the choice, and not just, like you say, sort of pinpointing them or narrowing their sort of path in a way, but allowing them to have an opportunity. And do you think by doing that as well, again, is not only empowering perhaps for young people, but is it providing young people and more success opportunities to go and do what they truly believe in with having the right skills?
Yeah, exactly. I think young people are quite innovative by nature, to be honest. If you talk to groups of young people, they all have their own idea of what a career looks like. I think that the pandemic was a good reset point for a lot of people in all walks of life, in all ages. So that ability to be able to work for yourself is quite empowering in itself, but then to be successful in that is the next level, where you can potentially even employ people in your family. You can kind of break systematic issues that might be around families, in terms of families have always worked in one single career. The potteries, for example, there's been the kind of death of that industry, so to speak, has probably opened up opportunities for other things where young people can be. But the young people that we work with, they're quite advanced in terms of their thought. It's just the resources is always the first thing that they struggle with. Where do they find that first bit of finance to pay for a website, or to
finance some equipment, or get themselves do a bit of marketing so people know what services they will offer. But yeah, from personal experience, sometimes coming out of school at the age of 16, everybody knows that there are a whole range of jobs that you can do, but how do you know which job is most suitable for you? And that's where we kind of come in. There might be some careers that people haven't thought about, or they've been doing a certain kind of job, but they have transferable skills and can do other kinds of jobs that they weren't aware of. So it's just opening their mind to all the possibilities, really.
Yeah, the possibilities. And, and going on from that as well, can you see where the young people that you've already helped through PPE, can you, in the last 12 months or more, can you see as well, by helping them on their journey, and say one of the young people that you've helped has gone on to start their own business, can you see how that could actually change the culture dynamic within an organisation.
Yeah. It changes it changes everything in terms of that person. We've had young people that are, quite brave in what they want to do, but they don't know where to go, and you can see the change in them. We've had people that have lacking confidence. The usual types of jobs, they struggle in interviews, they may struggle in competency tests, or they might not have really good qualifications. So they always feel a lack of confidence when they go into scenarios where they have to kind of speak about themselves. But when you turn the spotlight around and help them to speak about themselves or their passions, you see a completely different person. That's what we kind of pick on in terms of picking out those nuggets of spark and trying to refine that, support that, nurture that, and allow them to stand on their own 2 feet. So it's a great, really rewarding thing to do. There's a lot of organisations locally that do similar things in terms of career support. So what we've diversified in through the lottery that's funded us is to understand that there's an entrepreneur in everybody, in any walk of life. Doesn't matter about social setting or status. And that those that have that spark or that idea, we gravitate to those in terms of showing them what's possible for us. And what's possible, what we've done, that they can do similar things with that stepping stone of help that we can support them with.
And how important is it for other businesses within the local area as well to, one, be aware of what you're doing and how you're doing it, but two, to collaborate with you?
Sure. Yeah, it's very important. I think there's so many different diverse careers that young people want to go into. So what we like to do is to give them access to those opportunities. So that's with our professional network, people that we work with ourselves. We have many, many partners. I think we have over 30 partners that we work with in different industries, from creativity, branding, marketing, to professional services, to retail. So yeah, there's a career and an opportunity for everybody to at least have some sort of experience, whether that be work experience, work placement, internship, volunteering within the public sector, to kind of have something on their CV. A lot of young people come out of schools without qualifications and nothing on their CV in terms of experience. So at least through us, we can give them the opportunities, whether that's working within PP itself or with our partners. So there's always an opportunity. For example, people are interested in media. So, there's opportunity for, PPE and Cross Rhythms to work together in terms of giving people that access to media, to be in a setting like this with them probably never been in their life. That might itself be the spark that kind of creates something inside someone that says, I'd love to do this as a job.
Also, to add to that, the phrase, not one man is an island, not one organisation has the whole range of services available to them to be able to help every single person that might come through their door. So the collaboration part is very important, because we can link with other organisations who provide other support services, and we can form a forum, really, a collective of organisations that whoever comes through anybody's door can be helped in some way through referrals.
And that, and like you say, the power of that collaboration and that network. And is this a different way of providing work experience, so to speak? I mean, I remember, where I'm coming from with this, I remember doing work experience when I was at school. And the first work experience I did was actually in the Port Vale Club shop.
Okay.
It goes back a long way, don't we? But it was in the Port Vale Club shop, and it was actually to assist the marketing. But what I did, I ended up just filing and sending things off in the post, like scarves and all this, because at the time, Take That were on the scene as well, the Robbie Williams connection, and a lot of fans were getting in touch, but I just ended up sending post. And no disrespect, but at the time I'm thinking, I wanted to try a little bit more.
Exactly.
Okay, I was 15 or whatever, But do you see this as another way of just, again, giving more hands-on experience for life?
It's given the opportunity for them to get to the heart of what their interest is. Like, the opportunities around that are careers in themselves. But if somebody's interested in sports, they may not be athletic, but there's careers around athletics or sport that they can fall into. But if they're not given access to that, and access is the most important word, it just takes that one opportunity of a day release to come into an office environment, a marketing agency, a charity, a shop, a retail outlet, hospitality, for them to really kind of get an idea of what this industry is. And you can normally know quite early on if this career or this industry is for you. So we want to give people that opportunity. And we do, it's a call to action to local organisations out there to support by giving opportunities. we have young people that we've supported, and they've done a week at a certain place, and then they followed that up with wanting to do an apprenticeship, where they then get qualified as well as the hands-on experience. So one's led to another. So there's always a pathway of development and progression. But if you give them the access, then they can figure out what it is that they actually love to do
as soon as possible.
As soon as possible at the earliest intervention. And normally those passions are what people will remain in long term, rather than a job just to bring money into the household. You have that Monday morning syndrome of you're working just for working's sake. But if you're working around your passion, then there's a different energy, and there's a different feeling for the young people that we help, and that's what we want to kind of make sure that we help them to do.
The purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, fulfilling a purpose, and like you say, if you believe in me, I believe in you, kind of thing, and you go on to achieve success and unlocking again that potential, which is what PPE, you say is all about. Now, I'm just going to ask you, through your, we've talked about entrepreneurs, and you're mentoring yourself and your own experience and what you've done, and collaboration with all these other organisations, 30 plus within the Stoke-on-Trent area. Have we got some success stories we can share?
Yeah.
Is there anybody out there?
We've got some numbers. Yeah, we've got some stats. So the lottery fund have supported us to help originally 60 young people into career development entrepreneurship. We've surpassed that in the first year, so we're at 105, I believe we are at the moment. I helped somebody yesterday, so we're 106 and counting. In terms of entrepreneurs, we've helped 4 organisations, so 4 young people who had an idea at different stages of development. Some of them are ideas on a fag packet, so to say.
It's where they all start.
All the way up to people who have got a really good idea and they just need equipment or marketing resources. So we've helped a young gentleman who we've actually helped him a few different times through marketing expertise, videography. We put him on a basic introduction to marketing course, which he completed. That's helped his business as a t-shirt printing company.
Wow.
So we've also purchased some equipment that he can access in our headquarters, that he can actually prototype his samples. And we've actually helped him to write a bid for some funding for himself to buy a certain amount of certain piece of kit that he needs in terms of turning his ideas into something that he can sell on a website or on the market. So we've helped a web development company that's got an app idea that they've looking to kind of empower young people through coding. So that's a CIC that we've helped to set up through our own CIC. There's a hairdresser company that wants to help disadvantaged young people learning about hair and beauty.
Food.
And then there's a food organisation that we've supported as well. And the thing is, it's never just come and we help you and then you move on and we never see you again. It's a constant support. So that one referral might turn into 5 different touch points of intervention, which is great. So we've got some good numbers, and I think when we started it was more career development, but we've realised that the entrepreneurship flair in Stoke-on-Trent is there, burning bright, just needs that opportunity and that oxygen to make it really grow. So that's something in terms of the next metamorphosis of the organisation, will focus a lot more on the entrepreneurship side, because I think that helps people to gain jobs, but then it also helps the local economy and also provides other job opportunities for other people within those businesses as well. So it's a gift that keeps on giving kind of scenario. Yeah.
And just going to you, Jonathan, just to ask you something again. We've talked about the young people that you've helped, and all everything that you do and the collaboration. And again, I keep going back to unlocking that potential and those opportunities. But just from yourself, you're a project manager. You obviously work with a lot of the young people one-on-one. What's it like for you when you see the change in these young people, and what's the feedback that they give you?
It's very enlightening to be able to help these young people. As Paul said before, if we had people who were in our position back when we were 16, 17, 18, we'd probably all be in a different space right now within our careers. But the feedback we've been getting has been absolutely amazing from everybody we've been involved with, to be fair. Paul is kind of held as some kind of god in
a bit of a guru. One of our young people actually went back to his college where he was studying, and there was a board. He showed me, he took a video of it, and we were laughing, couldn't believe it, of local entrepreneurs in Stoke. and there was me at the bottom, and above me was Denise Coates, and I was just thinking, like, we don't even
Wow.
deserve to be in the same breath. But it was an incredible feeling that, you know, they'd researched on Google or wherever, they'd these local entrepreneurs, and I was there, and the organisation's only been going for a couple of years. So it just shows that little help that you give to one individual can snowball into something beyond our wildest dreams, beyond their wildest dreams. So, you know, if we can do it once, we can do it 100,000 times.
Definitely. Paul, Jonathan, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure having you here in the studio. That's Paul Smith and Jonathan Smith from Positive People Empowerment here on Business Spotlight with Cross Rhythm City Radio and Baba Baboon.
Business Spotlight, shining a light on our local business community. Brought to you by Cross Rhythms and Baba Baboon.